What's going on, everyone? Welcome. And today, talk about a subject that's close to me. Now, as we know, recent days and weeks and months, there have been a lot of mass shootings, unfortunately, and people have lost their lives and been injured. And when things as tragic as mass shootings happen, we as human beings, we always try to find a rational reason as to the cause of these tragedies. Whenever there's something bad happening, we always want to figure out, well, why do people do this? Where did it come from? And if you know where it came from, you could better find a way to stop it from happening. You stop the cause and then you stop the effect, right? Now, what bothers me is when these things happen, even when I was a little kid, I heard the same argument, and it hasn't changed since. It's either been rap music or video games. One of those two has always been the cause of why there's so much violence in our society, right? But I'm just going to deal with video games. I did one on rap, I'll do one on video games. When I was a kid, excuse me, you had video games, especially when games like Mortal Kombat came out, right? Whenever there was some tragedy happening back then, people, mainly adults, parents, people who wanted to get votes, politicians, always found a way to blame the violence on video games. Do video games cause violence, all that stuff, right? And people think that this is actually new, when in fact it really isn't. Now, I wasn't alive during this particular time, but I remember reading about articles where politicians and parents thought that comic books were the cause of the violence in society at that time. That kids reading comic books, Superman, Batman, all those, during that time, that kids reading comic books will grow up to be violent degenerates, right? This generation was like the 50s and the 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, Then you have, technology, things advance, and you still have adults to this day still blaming. See, here's the thing. You always gotta blame somebody or something for whatever's going wrong. Humans tend to do that. Humans tend to find a way to blame something or someone as the cause to why things are going wrong. It was comic books, it was music, movies, video games, all of these things. Those are always the big talking points for people to win an argument, win an election, stuff like that. When in fact, whenever research was done to actually quantify this, to get any kind of information, any kind of trend line to see if any of these things were the cause of violence in society, it has been shown and proven time and time again that comic books, movies, video games, music is not the cause of the violence in society. So now we're going to bring it around. You have the mass shootings, the unfortunate mass shootings, and people immediately said that video games are the cause for this. When in fact, the data shows that that is not true. Now, there's been research done, but it's never been proven that that is true. So my question is, with all this data and research that has been shown and quantified, and it's just, you could look it up on any reputable site, and it's shown that that's not the case. When are we actually going to get down to the nitty-gritty of the real causes? Because if it's not video games, and it's not music, and it's not movies, and it's not cartoons and comic books, then what is the actual cause? Because you mean tell me, we have all this information, yet we still don't know what causes the violence in people. So just, my question is, why, if you can't pinpoint a single cause for this, or a definitive cause has been proven through research and information, then that tells me that, one, you don't know what the actual cause is. Two, you're just trying to find an answer. And three, you have an ulterior motive. You have a different objective. Is the objective really about the society? Is it really about actually trying to find out the cause for these heinous acts? I mean, do we really need you gotta ask other questions. What about the guns? No one says that. Well, you got the thing about gun control. So is that the answer? Because when it comes to gun control, people are dicey on it. But when it comes to video games and music and movies and all of this, everybody seems to know the answer. But what about sports? We got this whole CTE thing going on, where people are literally succumbing to brain damage. Could that be a reason? Or is it just something that you want, as just talked about, just to sound good? Like you're trying to win votes. So let me know in the comments section. I'll catch you later. Peace.